In this week's podcast, we discuss Wigan Athletic being put into administration. As well as discussing many of the facts involved in the situation, the following video does address the speculation and rumours involved in this fast-developing issue.
Ladies, gentlemen, people of the earth, welcome to another FC Barshaloma podcast. Bit of a different one today. We'll get into that in a second. But before we start our big discussion for today, I want to introduce you to everyone who is joining me. We have Jack, Ryan, and Josh today. Say hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Oh, very good. You all sound very cheerful. I am not. I am not cheerful this week. Now, it should be said that before we start all this, that obviously this is a very quickly developing situation. This has only been going on now for about 36 hours. And by the time this comes out, everything will probably have changed. But, go on,
just say when you're recording. We're recording on the 2nd, so as of the 2nd
of July.
Everything's right.
It's the 2nd of July. And basically, 36 hours ago, Wigan Athletic were placed into administration. Now, you'll know if you've been following the club for a long time that the club was obviously based in and around Wigan, and I myself and a couple of other teammates are big fans of Wigan Athletic. So this came as a massive shock yesterday. No one had any clue this was coming, but what seems to have happened is there's been a lack of funds coming into the club one way or another, and the directors have had no choice but to put us into administration. Now, I don't know how you all heard about this yesterday. I know you all heard it yesterday, but what were your reactions to this happening? Before we go in depth and explain how it's happened, what were your reactions?
Well, I was in work at the time, and I was just literally just finishing my shift at work at about 20 to 2, and my mate Wes said that Wigan have gone into administration. So naturally, I just said fuck off, because I didn't believe it. And he went, no, seriously, my mate's just messaged saying Wigan are in administration and in financial trouble. And so I said to him, really? Still in disbelief. And then he showed me, and I was like, oh my god. I knew Wigan was in somewhat financial trouble, since they stopped getting the parachute payments and that, but I didn't realise it was to that scale.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share the stories before we explain what has happened? And again, it is ongoing. But
just shock, because I was supposed. Well, I would have liked to get a season ticket next season if they stayed up in Championship, but obviously they'll go bust. Really sad.
If they go bust, yeah. Ryan, anything?
Yeah,
as well?
it's like my dad's just come in from work. It's like, oh, Wigan's gone into administration. I'm like, fuck off, they have. And then I just checked the chat and saw you ranting on both Twitter and on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, this has been quite an emotionally charged 36 hours for myself, because it has come out of nowhere. It's not like a situation with Bolton or Bury, and of course, Bury, first of all, what a disgrace, what happened to them, absolutely disgusting. Bolton seem to be getting their feet back now and starting to build again, but
it was more of a build. They more have had a build up, those two, though, didn't they? It was an ongoing thing for at least a year or so, wasn't it? Where you was hearing of the players and staff not being paid and things like that. Whereas you've not had any of that with Wigan at all.
Wigan had nothing. So this is the timeline events, and I mean, there's every chance I'll miss something out or get dates wrong. But effectively, Wigan were owned by Dave Whelan, and he was Mr. Wigan for a long time. We were owned by him until the end of the 14-15 season, at which point he handed over control of, I believe he was still funding it, he handed over control to David Sharp. Now, both Whelan and Sharp did an incredible job for the club. Wigan wouldn't be... Well, they wouldn't have gotten to the Premier League, they wouldn't have won an FA Cup without Sharp and Whelan. So, absolutely no issues with them at all. I know some people think Whelan is perhaps not of the best character. I know there were racism accusations against him earlier before he left the club, and I understand that. But from a Wigan fan's point of view, he was fantastic, and he sort of epitomised everything that was right about Wigan. That went on until 2018, 1st of November, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And a Hong Kong consortium known as IEC, which I think is the International Entertainment Corporation. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, sorry, boss.
Oh,
sorry.
okay, it's alright. I think it is something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so they took it over. Now, they've had money. They had a lot of money. Obviously, there seems to be a lot in foreign money in football, but that's another discussion.
Yeah.
The fact is that they had money to put into a club, and that was all going fine until 4 weeks ago. At which point...
I think it started before then, though, didn't it? Because didn't they do something with the stock market, something like that?
This is 4 weeks ago.
Earlier in the year.
This is 4 weeks ago. So it only went through 4 weeks ago, what you're talking about. Right. Essentially, the IEC, and that's owned by Stanley Choi, I believe, or certainly ran by Stanley Choi. He was the owner of Wigan Athletic. He took his share in Wigan Athletic from IEC to a new company called New Leader Fund, or something like that. That New Leader Fund is based in the Cayman Islands, and the only things they have going is a casino in the Philippines, I believe, and maybe a betting company. So obviously, straight away, as soon as you hear Cayman Islands betting, you think, holy fuck, something is not right here. But the EFL passed that. They passed the fit and proper test somehow. I mean, obviously they have money somewhere, and they've shown that to the EFL. And the EFL passed it 4 weeks ago. Then, on Tuesday night, I believe, Tuesday at some point, which when Wigan played Stoke and we won 3-0, very comfortable win, they ratified that deal essentially through the stock market, which meant that Stanley Choi was now co-owner with a person called Young, and together what they have done is withdrawn their funding for the club. So obviously that's quite a lot of jargon to unpick straight away if you don't know what's happening. But it comes down to this. 4 weeks ago, a man transferred the company to himself in the Cayman Islands, and then as of Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, withdrew all his funding for Wigan Athletic. Which means that our directors had no other choice but to put us in administration, which comes with a 12-point deduction. So that's what we knew up until yesterday morning, pretty much. And straight away you're looking at that and saying that's pretty bad. I know, Josh, you've experienced this as a Liverpool fan. You were saying that Liverpool nearly got put into administration. I don't know a lot about that, but maybe you can shed some light on how that feels.
To be honest, like it luckily, like for us, it didn't happen. We didn't actually go into administration because we managed to sell the club in time. And I was only young at the time anyway. I think I was 10 around the time it was happening, 10 or 11. So I didn't really understand the ins and outs of like the financial side of the game at that point, because I was a football fan. But even still, then hearing like that your club is gonna like is facing like not existing anymore, that possibility, it's heartbreaking. Like, it's sort of just, it takes all the enjoyment out of the sport for you, really, that it's gotten to that point, and everything that you've been loving and caring about and like passionately watching for years can just be taken away like that sort of thing.
Yeah, I've certainly felt that. Last couple of nights I've not wanted to watch the football. Like tonight was Man City Liverpool, and that for me was going to be obviously a huge game I could watch and enjoy, regardless of the fact Liverpool had already won the league. And well done, Josh, obviously, you'll be
Yeah.
best pleased with that.
I
But
was a little disappointed in the Man City players with the guard of honour. It was a bit disrespectful that they started walking away before it was even before the team had even fully walked through.
yeah, it's a friendly jibe, but
Disrespectful in my eyes.
yeah,
But
the point's that I was going to watch that game and enjoy it and have a few beers with my dad, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. I couldn't watch the football, and that's so rare. Like, I've never been at a point where I never wanted to watch the football. So it's taken a lot of enjoyment out of the sport for me, as you say. Ryan, obviously, you had the same a similar issue with your owners and the Glazers.
it's still ongoing, really. That
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
It might not put
shitty
you in
owners.
financial difficulty, yeah, but again, you've got shitty owners. And Fields, as a Tottenham fan, I know you hate Daniel Levy, regardless of what he's actually done well for the club.
Yeah, well, I don't really hate him. It's just I know what he's doing for Tottenham. He wants to run Tottenham like a business.
football
Instead of
clubs
like a
are
football.
a business these days, though.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, to be
Yeah.
honest, they always have been, really. Once
Yeah.
once
You
you
see what the
turn
fan-
professional,
you see-
your club turns from being just a normal, just from football. You've got to start to think about profits and expenditures and stuff like that as well. Brand,
Yeah, I
brand
understand.
reputation. It
I-
literally becomes a business.
I do understand
So
that.
you have to run it that way.
But I just it's come see come sa really. I'm more. I don't hate him, but I'm just annoyed at the
You're annoyed at the
The
fact he doesn't spend
yeah.
a lot.
It's very tight.
But that also is a good thing,
Yeah.
because it means you're going to have money in the bank.
Right,
He's
back
trying
onto
playing
Wigan
it.
anyway.
You can't just
Right.
shun that off.
Just some technical difficulties.
What? No. I'm just saying
Yes.
like Wigan's the more important topic at the
Oh
moment.
yeah,
Yeah,
Wigan.
but-
But it's sort of like thingy, a background caveat sort of thing to the whole discussion. Oh,
Yeah, and the point is that obviously we've all experienced a few issues with owners, and
Yeah.
football clubs, like you say, Josh, it's a business nowadays, so it all comes down to money. Obviously, Stanley Choi and I'm not sure the full name, but Young, obviously must have had money to pass that fitness and the fit and proper test with the EFL. They must have had enough to show they could run the club.
yeah.
So that wasn't an issue 4 weeks ago. But, I mean, it's still not an issue now. You can't lose the amount of money they had within 4 weeks. What's come out this afternoon, it's proper shook me, and I know the Wigan Athletic fans tweeted about it right now, like, in absolute disgust. But the EFL chairman, Rick Parry, has come out and dignified a rumour. I'm not going to say he's confirmed it, because he's
Yeah,
not.
I was going to say, he did mention it was a rumour.
Yeah, so essentially what happened is a Wigan fan happened to live on the same street as Rick Parry and went to have a conversation with him and filmed that conversation without Rick Parry knowing. Now, obviously, there's a whole discussion we could have about privacy and whatever, but the point is, Rick Parry alluded to the fact that the rumour is the chairman, Stanley Choi, had a bet that Wigan Athletic would be relegated this year. Now, Wigan were due to be relegated from about up until February. Wigan looked like they were going to get relegated, and then we've turned it around all of a sudden. The rumour is he's put millions on us being relegated in the Philippines, and then we've turned around the form, and the only way that he could get us relegated and win his bet is by putting us into administration and withdrawing his funding.
Oh my god.
It's absolutely unbelievable. It's something you couldn't make up, really.
No.
I mean,
I saw someone also put on Twitter as well, again, just a rumour. I haven't dived into the rules and stuff because it's a lot of like legal jargon and stuff. But apparently, like, that breaks a whole, like, I think it's section 8 of the FA rules.
yeah, Yeah.
So
That
the
that
FA
breaks a
now.
whole section.
Yeah. So like the
that's
FA are going to be
That's
getting
the
involved.
FA in, the EFL in. Now the thing is, that I don't know what they're going to do about that, because at the end of the day, the bet was going to lose, and the only way that bet now wins is if the EFL actually deduct the points
Yeah.
and themselves support fraudulent behaviour.
To be sort of accessories to it as well.
Yeah, exactly. So they now have two choices. They can either suspend that 12-point deduction and keep us in the league, which is what they should absolutely do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they've really a choice but to suspend it, but I don't know. You look at what happened with Bury and Bolton, they don't seem very forthcoming when they want to support clubs.
Yeah, they're not. I think they should be stripped of the governance of the football leagues, just because they've not shown themselves that they're fit and proper to run nine leagues for years now. I think the FA should take over and then reevaluate from there.
But the discussion as of today was the possibility the government steps in. And I mean, I will get onto all this in a second, but obviously with this betting issue, then that moves from a case of us being badly run to this being international fraud. So Wigan Athletic, in the space of 36 hours, have gone from financial trouble to FBI most wanted, and it's absolutely incredible. You can't make it. Only Wigan Athletic could do this, and I say that in the nicest way possible. I love Wigan, but we find ourselves in some really strange situations at times.
See you on Dog the Bounty Hunter soon.
Yeah, exactly. Or can't pay and we'll take it away. There'll be some fucking outcomes from this. But the thing is now, is that obviously we can have no money, effectively. Even though we're not financially in a bad state, we don't have the money because they've not put the funds in. So Wigan players, tomorrow, it's their payday, are getting 20% of their wages. Which means that I don't know what the legal standing is. I don't know what the PFA will do about this. But obviously that's not in fitting with the contract. Whether players can walk away, I don't know. But it's a whole situation now where this is going to go on for a long, long time. It's like, as much as finding a buyer is an urgent issue, the fact this is going to have to go through probably the police and Interpol and the government, it's ridiculous. And it shows you what an awful state football is in.
Yeah.
When new owners, 4 weeks ago, they had to go through the fit and proper test again. Stanley Choi and Young. They had to go through that fit and proper test, and somehow the EFL and Rick Parry have okayed it. And that's what's caused this situation. And I will stop ranting very shortly. I just want to say this, that as a Wigan Athletic fan, I am heartbroken. I didn't sleep properly last night. I know a lot of fans didn't. I won't be sleeping properly tonight. No one knows what the next minute is going to bring, because, I mean, you look at that situation today, where it was probably about 7 or 8 o'clock at night, that video of Rick Parry confirming, alluding to the betting rumour, and possibly suggesting it was true, that came out at 8 o'clock at night. By that point, things should be done for the day. So we don't know. There might be things come out overnight. I can't.
Go on.
I can't really go to sleep because I don't know what's going to happen to my club. I really don't know what's going to happen to Wigan Athletic. I don't know what happens to the players and the people who work there and the supporters. I've been supporting Wigan for as long as I know. I've travelled up and down the country. I've travelled to Yeovil to watch them, travelled as far as Newcastle, maybe further, to watch them up there.
Wembley,
obviously, for the...
Yeah, I went to Wembley watching them as well.
Yeah, the FA Cup days. Wigan is a community club, and it means so much that we've achieved overachieved in the past 20 or 30 years. We've done well. We've done well more than was expected of us.
I mean, wasn't you still in the non-league places back in like 1985?
In the 70s, I believe. I think
70s.
I can't exactly remember the year. I want to say 72, but I could be wrong. Wigan were a non-league club.
Yeah, didn't you? Was it? It was Southport or someone like that, wasn't it? I think it was Southport. You beat to the place in the football league.
It was a very weird situation where it was. I think it was pretty much our last attempt before we tried something very strange. So I think the rumour was at the time we were going to apply to join the Scottish League if we couldn't get in the Football League, and that was our last attempt basically, and we did it. And now the EFL want to take it away from us because they've been frauded. We've been defrauded. They've been defrauded, and it's essentially a case of them wanting to save face at this point.
Yeah.
Because if they come out and admit they've been defrauded, there has to be serious changes. Yeah. So they're just punishing Wigan, they're punishing the fans, and they're going to put people out of jobs doing this. I don't understand how they can get away with it. It's awful. I'm heartbroken, and I'll stop ranting now because I know we've had enough of it. But
no.
I'm absolutely gutted as a Wigan fan. And I know a lot of football fans are, and Charlton have been speaking about it, and I know a good proportion of even local rivals, Bolton and Blackburn, obviously they're sharing their support at this time. It's ridiculous, and something has to be done. Yeah. And I know the next time we do a podcast, everything will have changed. But,
shit, sorry.
Another own goal by Fields in overtime.
Everything will have changed by the time we do another podcast, but I felt it was quite important to come out and let off some steam. So thank you for letting me rant for a long time. I know you'll be sick of my voice now, so I'll let the others take over for a bit. But just gutted, absolutely gutted.
Like, I know, like, you want to hand it over, like, but there's one thing, like, I want to, like, interject to mention as well.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, I just need to burp. Excuse me. With the owners and stuff, we're having this bet on. If this rumour is confirmed to be actually true and the bet has been placed, it sort of explains why, when Wigan was going through such a poor run of form, when they looked destined to go down, arguably the football you was playing was awful, because I went to a few games this season to watch you, and the football you was playing was atrocious.
Yeah.
Under Paul Cook. It sort of makes sense to why they didn't sack him, when realistically they should have sacked him and brought someone else in.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a very good point. I've not considered that. There's so much that stinks about this.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, this is what's going to catch them out, because no one knew about this betting. Or I don't think they did. I mean, there's possibilities Rick Parry knew about it, because no one else knew about it until he brought it up today. But the fact is that there's so much that stinks about this, and I genuinely believe come tomorrow we'll have another revelation that will change the whole situation again. But you're right that Cook should have been sacked, and he wasn't, and thank God he wasn't, because he's turned it around really well, and you've got to hold your hands up as a football fan sometimes to say you're wrong.
Yeah, massively wrong with that.
Yeah, with Cook, but he had, like, as of November, he really should have gone, and he kept his job. And I think you're probably right. That's probably what explains it. Is that they wanted us to go down, and because we weren't going to go down normally, they had to put us into admin to win the bet, and it's absolutely fucking disgusting.
It's like out of a movie, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And if it comes
I wouldn't
out,
say a movie. I'd probably say like a soap drama.
Yeah.
It's something like you'd expect to see on Coronation Street, not in real life. I know Coronation. No, it's not real life.
If this comes out, though, that this is true with this bet, what the FA do in the EFL, I've not got a clue, because the EFL, there's no way they should have let that takeover happen. The FA have their own rules to play by.
Yeah.
But they can't punish the club for this. They
No.
really can't, because like I said, just me, my brother, my dad, we've travelled up and down the country to watch Wigan. But people who've been doing this for 50 or 60 years watching Wigan,
Yeah.
and they're going to punish us because Stanley Choi wanted to win a bet. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And like I said, I mean, I know I keep saying it, I'm genuinely heartbroken.
Rightly so.
Like, there is nothing I've wanted to do more the past day or so than to just lie in bed and tuck myself up and not be seen to the world, because I don't know what I am without Wigan Athletic. I really don't, and I hope to God it gets sorted soon.
It's football. It's such an outlet. It's such an outlet.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
to bring up a whole nother side to this, to like another dimension as well, is it's such a good outlet, should I say, and a relief mechanism for like stress, or like just to help people with mental health. This will be affecting Wigan's mental health. A lot of people in the town.
In the borough.
Yeah, you're spot on. I mean, I know, again, for myself, I know that I've been down over it, whether you want to call it depression. I know I've struggled in the past with depression, and I know a lot of people who have, absolutely. And it's going to affect that, of course it will. But there's a whole different side to it if Wigan went under. I mean, it's bad now, and that's with stress and the uncertainty. If Wigan goes under, then the untold, like the impact that it could have. I mean, I don't know. I know that there'll be people in Bury the exact same way. I know people in Bolton, past couple of years, will have had it really, really tough. And I couldn't bear to see my club go through that. I really couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, we know Grundy, who's part of this team.
Yeah.
He went through it with Bolton. He's a Bolton fan. Very, very diverse fan supporters at Barshaloma.
Yeah, I don't think we've got many at Barshaloma who actually support the same team.
Wigan is the larger demographic, as you expect.
Yeah, and there's only two of us.
Three.
I think.
Three. Yeah.
Who's the third?
You, Steve, and Lanky.
Oh, I didn't know Steve was a Wigan fan. Hi, Steve.
Yeah. And then it's second place United with Ryan and Dan.
Yeah.
And then...
Who does Fingy support? Oh, Lanka.
Wigan.
Are you deaf?
Oh, Wigan. Oh, yeah. You just said Chris, Lanky and Steve.
Yeah, yes I did.
Yeah, it's just... I know, it's baffling, and...
It makes you lose faith in football, that's what it does, if I'm honest.
It does, and we need something to be done. I know Lisa Nandy, Andy Burnham, and apparently the sports minister's involved at the government now. I don't quite know, but that's what Lisa Nandy was saying this morning. But it's the fact that it's gone that far in 36 hours, where this could end up.
Right, I've got a question to like build a debate, seeing that we're talking about this.
Okay.
Would you not consider what they do in the German Bundesliga, where you have 50 plus one rule?
Yeah, the club has to be owned by the fans, technically.
Yeah.
And I think a ruling is there as well. Is if your club has been owned by an owner for, say, I think more than 10 years or something like that, then they're allowed to keep certain amount of percentage in ownership in the club, as well as the fans.
I think the thing is with that, and I know Paul Kendrick, who's a reporter, I think it's Wigan Today, but I could be wrong, but Paul Kendrick is in with the club big time, and he's been talking about that. A few years ago, Wigan did try and do that. It was a long time ago, but Wigan tried to the Wigan fans tried to take ownership, and it didn't go well. the thing is with Wigan, and you'll only know this if you're part of the club or you look at the club's Twitter, it's that the fans are so fickle. And again, I mean that in the best way, because it leads to some unbelievably funny moments. And you look at like our title celebrations when we won League One. We had two blokes, I mean, probably 50s, 60s, running through the street, bollock naked.
Yeah, feeling the middle of the town.
Yeah, you've got the whole up the ticks, come on saga, where like things like that. You've got I want to say it's Sean Kennedy, but I could be wrong on the last name. And he's
the Will Grigg guy.
Yeah, he does the Will Grigg thing.
Yeah.
You have things like that. Wigan is such a uniquely weird place to be.
Yeah.
And I think we're too fickle to run a club as fans. I could be wrong. I think we're too fickle. But
the thing is with that ruling though is it's not directly the fans in charge, so it can be like you know, like a building society like Nationwide.
Yeah.
Technically, that's owned by the customers. Well, I say technically, I'm pretty sure it is owned by the customers, sort of thing. And you get to like vote on things. It'll be like that, where you have direct.
It'll be like a union. It'll run like a union, won't it?
Sort of. Like you'll all vote to appoint a leader. It'd be a bit like a democracy sort of thing, like a private democracy. Like you'll vote someone in charge, and then they'll do the business side.
As soon as you give the power to Wigan Athletic fans to vote, we'd have a manager out as soon as we lost the game.
But that's just the part of parcel of learning. You'd be sacking like 5 managers in 5 games, and then you'd start to think, no, we can't keep doing this, boys. We need to have a planning process.
But that's the problem, is that by that point, who the bloody hell would take you on as manager if you're going to get sacked a week later? You know, we can't afford that. So I don't think that system works, especially in England. Although
I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if you're allowed to vote on the manager. I think it's sort of like your fans vote on like a panel who make those sort of decisions, like a lead like they're still a fan, but like there'll be someone who wins or something, a bit like a student union sort of thing, where they're in charge of different things, but it's like a big sort of panel of them or team of them.
I hate to say this, but I don't think I could vote anyone from Wigan onto our panel because every Wigan fan I've met, again in the most lovely way, is thick as fuck, and I'm absolutely part of that problem. I'm thick as mince. There's any sort of Wigan fan, if you go onto their Twitter, you'll know we're absolute nutters, and it's fantastic.
But not everyone will be.
The thing is, though, I'm not 100% sure on the 50+1 rule and how it works, because and even then, hold on, excuse me, it's not a guaranteed method.
Please comment below.
It's not even the best method either. I don't think there is a solid method to make sure clubs survive and thrive, because you look at RB Leipzig, they've fingered, they've done well and are continuing to do well, but they've Red Bull not sponsored. No, I have to say that, otherwise could get done for not declaring a sponsorship, but we're not sponsored. Even then, there's a way around the law of that, because they've just put their own people in charge and are able to basically change the name of the club, change the badge, and everything.
But this is
and even with that 50+ rule, they've put Red Bull employees in as a part of it.
Yeah.
Like in the contract, like you're a part of it.
That whole thing, and again, to be honest, Red Bull don't seem like they've done a lot wrong with that whole thing. Again, it stinks of money laundering, and decided. I mean, Red Bull I don't know if you know that, but RB Leipzig does not stand for Red Bull Leipzig. It's
It's
because of the
because you're not allowed to
or
have a
something.
sponsor in your name.
It's something like Riesenball or something like that.
Yeah.
It's an odd one, but
they abbreviated it down though, didn't they? Just so people, and because the badge,
I think it's Rosenball or something.
The badge is designed to look like the Red Bull logo, but it's not, because they changed the colour of the, I think, is it lions on the side of the thing? Bulls, sorry, yeah, bulls. No, I mean on the Leipzig badge.
Yeah.
They changed the positioning and the colours of them to sort of resemble and help with the overall branding of Red Bull, so people do associate RB as Red Bull and not what it actually stands for. Just in
it's
trickery.
a Rasenball Sport.
Yeah.
I think we're talking about solutions. I believe that for our current situation, where so many clubs are found, I mean, I could list off clubs who, in the past 10 or 20 years, have found issues. Like, you look at Portsmouth, Coventry, Blackpool, Bury.
Yeah, Portsmouth, Coventry ended up losing the ground, didn't they?
Yeah, their ground sharing with Birmingham. You look at Bolton and Bury are probably the most recent examples, but this goes on and on, like Rushden and Diamonds.
Yeah.
Leighton Orient, all going through these sort of issues. And the only way to sort this out is by having
a mass reform of the EFL.
And it starts with that fit and proper test.
Yeah, but that won't happen.
No, because
it has to.
Because of the corruption high up in some organisations.
Something will come of this Wigan scandal.
It has to.
I think
football cannot continue in the same vein it has.
No, but I think it'll be a reform that fit and proper test, because from what I can gather, and I've not read into this properly, but from what I can gather, that fit and proper test basically is, do you have money? Right, off you go. Because there's no way that a poker player from Hong Kong who has never run a football club before, has no interest in football, there is absolutely no fucking way he should be owning a football club. Let alone...
Do you know what? That's right.
Yeah, let alone... And you look at City. Alright, City, big club because they've got a lot of money. But a small community club like Wigan, they've been picked, or as I say, that we've been picked for this whole thing because there's obviously the opportunity with wheel and selling, but they definitely thought they'd get away with this because we're only a very small club. And like, joking aside and saying we're the biggest club in the world, we're a very, very small community club, and they thought they would get away with this. And that fit and proper test has to change, and it has to change now.
Yeah, they tried to pull a fast one with you, didn't they? But obviously it's not exactly going to plan.
4 to 6 days later.
Hi guys, thank you so much if you made it this far in the video. You've had to put up with a lot of my inane chatter if you have made it this far, so well done you. What Ryan asked me to do is do a little update after we recorded about Wigan Athletic and what's happened since then. So it's been a couple of days since we recorded now, and the fact is that everything has changed again. So everything that we've been talking about has been speculation. Obviously there's a lot of rumours flying about. What's now being said is that there was one of the owners specifically that's caused a lot of the issues and tried to actually liquidate Wigan a couple of weeks ago. Again, I want to stress this is rumour because I don't want to get sued, but that's basically what happened apparently, is that one of the owners tried to liquidate Wigan, not even put us into administration at first. He wanted to liquidate us, and then because the UK directors wouldn't let them liquidate, then they put into administration like a child throwing their toys out the pram. Now, whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. That seems to be the case at the moment. The fact is that if that is true, and the EFL had but this happened a couple of weeks ago supposedly, so that would mean only 2 weeks after being passed as fit and proper, the owner tried to do that. The EFL has a lot to answer for if that is the case. So that's point number one. Point number two is that Ryan wanted me to do one update video, and I can't do that because 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, Wigan Athletic have called a press conference. So that will be Tuesday the 7th of July. Wigan have called a press conference. There's a lot of rumours what that's going to be about, whether it's about the points appeal, whether it's about a new owner possibly coming in. I know the administrators had talked about this a week ago and said that as soon as something happens, there would be a press conference. So obviously that's very big. As well, Lisa Nandy is having a meeting with administrators tomorrow. So I can't do a singular video, and I'm going to do another update video tomorrow after the press conference. But for now, this is where we're at, and this is where I'm at as a Wigan fan, is very confused, very angry, completely confused by the whole situation as well, because there's a lot of information that's flying about, some of it true, some of it false. You don't know, especially in this day and age where technology is everything and Twitter is sort of the hub of breaking news. You just don't know what's true and what's false. So I'm in a state of constant confusion and stress at the moment, which partially explains why I look quite dishevelled. That's also down to the fact that it's lockdown 2020, everyone, and I wasn't expecting for anyone to see me for another few months yet. There you go. So I will update you after the press conference at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Hopefully it's good news. There has been a rumour of a billionaire buyer. I won't say his name, but that's the rumour. That would be really nice. On the other hand, this could go really badly tomorrow and you could have me in tears, and no one wants to see that. So see you later, I guess.
The next day.
Hi everyone, so I've just got up. It's coming up 12 o'clock now, so I got up about an hour and a half ago. And the press conference has happened now at Wigan. It's another press conference at 1 o'clock, but I'm not expecting to hear anything new there. What's come out today is that there have been 50 potential buyers at Wigan, which is fantastic news. 50 non-disclosure agreements have gone out. And although 50 seems like a lot, that means probably about 3 or 4 are going to be probable buyers. But that's still relatively good. The biggest piece of news really to come out is that potentially Wigan now might be owned by Wigan Warriors, or as a community sort of come together as two clubs. It's interesting, it's very controversial, because Wigan Warriors and Wigan Athletic have a sort of feud or rivalry between the two sets of supporters. But hopefully something positive is going to come out of this. It's quite sad that last night there was a lot of stories came out about people being made redundant. I think all non-essential staff were made redundant last night, which is it's heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking to see. And realistically, I'm hoping that's as bad as it's going to get now. I'm hoping, but I can't guarantee it, and no one can. It's a tremendously sad situation. So if you can at all, and I know we always put merch links below, please go and support us. But please go and support the Wigan Athletic official fundraiser. Do what you can, because this club means everything to me. It means everything to a lot of people, and we've had some amazing times over the past. Well, you look at the FA Cup, you look at that, and what a small town community club did that year is just unbelievable. And we've been doing that consistently for years now. We've been beating the odds. We've been doing things that no one expected of us, and we want to continue doing that. So please, if you can, donate to that official fundraiser. There will be a link in the description. Please do what you can.
keep following FC Barshaloma, keep following Wigan Athletic, and thank you for the support.
Yeah. It's just, and again, there'll be people who watch this maybe who don't, maybe they don't watch football. If so, what you're doing following a football YouTube channel, thank you very much for coming. Or there'll be people doing and watching this who don't support Wigan and think this is hilarious. It's very possible, and I can't explain how bad this feels. I know when Bolton first found themselves in this situation, I wasn't. I say of the mature years, I'm not actually that old, but I wasn't. Obviously as well informed about football as I am now. When Bolton first started going through this, I thought it was hilarious because they are our local rivals. Sorry, Fields.
It's all right.
But as soon as you're in this situation, or as soon as you become more informed, obviously I have over the past few years, and the whole thing with Bolton and Bury has been heartbreaking. But as soon as you're on the inside of it, you see how unbelievably complicated this all gets. And for Bolton and Bury, it's a case of not having money. For Wigan, it has become a case of international fraud, of which no one has seen at this sort of in this sort of context before.
No one's seen ever in football, I'd say.
Yeah, I believe that Portsmouth had an issue with fraud, and I think that was partially what their downfall was with. So they have an idea, but certainly not while social media's been around, and in recent years, no one's seen anything like this. I don't think anyone will see anything like this again, because it was 4 weeks ago Wigan was taken over, supposedly, and within 4 weeks we've filed for administration. That absolutely stinks to me, and it tells me that the EFL aren't doing the job, that
the FA aren't doing the job.
The FA clearly aren't doing the job in regulating it enough. The government aren't doing the job. Although, from what again, Lisa Nandy and Andy Burnham, what a fantastic job they've done past 24 hours talking about this. But the government has to step in and stop this from happening, and the Premier League needs to step in and form a football solidarity fund, because there's that much money in the Premier League that for them.
Thanks for saving that, Ryan.
To put a couple million aside for a lot of teams in the Premier League is a small drop in the ocean.
But that's the thing. It's all very privately run football.
This is it, and that's why it needs to stop.
If this happened in Germany, I bet the top clubs in the Bundesliga would definitely do that.
Yeah,
and because it's all selfish and private in the Premier League and in football in general in England, it just wouldn't happen here.
This is it. Wigan were one of a dying breed, really, where they had an owner who cared about the club, and still had a bit of money about him. Wigan were one of a dying breed, and because a lot of clubs got on that bandwagon of getting in foreign owners and lots of money before all the regulations came in, they've got in under the whatever, or how do you want to call it, under the gate, if you will. I don't know what it's.
Well, can I just put in there and say something about I'd say the former Leicester owner. He loved the club, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Again, Leicester, and obviously
he was a fantastic owner before obviously he died.
Yeah, and obviously,
I think his son's doing a good job as well.
The circumstances around Leicester.
I think it's more of an anomaly, really, Leicester.
Yeah, the circumstances obviously around Leicester now is an absolute tragedy. What happened with their owner, and the way that club was run, but even before the whole the Premier League title, you look at things they're doing, like the owner on their birthday, you're giving away a beer to each fan or a drink to each fan. Yeah. Little things like that go a massive way with fans.
Yeah.
And Leicester, for me, that's why, again, regardless...
And Leicester aren't even, like, a big club, really, compared to, like, United and Liverpool and Newcastle, even.
Well, don't forget, the season before they won the Premier League, they were going to go down. Yeah. And they only just got out of that. Leicester, in a different universe, and, I mean, we're all praying to be in a different universe right now.
Yeah.
But Leicester, in a different universe, go down... And obviously they're not where they are now, but that doesn't change what the owner...
Tottenham in the Prem.
Yeah, never. No universe exists.
No.
That doesn't change what the owner does, because what the owner has done for the fans and their morale and self-esteem was amazing. That's why, everyone celebrated his life. When obviously the helicopter tragedy occurred, everyone celebrated his life and how he has very much changed the game for chairmen. That is the standard. It should be the standard for me. He's done an absolutely unbelievable job, and hats off to him. Obviously, passed away, and the family who is continuing that job now.
I mean, you just look at the story that broke out a day or two after his sad passing away. You hear of Kasper Schmeichel apparently running towards the burning wreck of the helicopter to try and save whoever was in it, because he knew it was the owner's helicopter. Yeah,
and I'm going to make what might be a dark statement now, but again, understand this is quite an emotionally charged time. If that happened with one of the current Wigan owners, I think people would piss on it.
No, I generally do think that's the. Well, I don't think it's thingy. If I'm honest, I don't think it's like
it's wrong.
No,
it's not wrong.
I don't think it's far off from what would happen.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I genuinely think that would happen.
And it's really sad to say this about another person, but right now in the state I'm in, if he were to leave right now and be arrested, let's take it out of that dark circumstance for a second, but let's say he was arrested, I would be having a piss up for the next week.
Oh yeah.
And I will do it because something will happen eventually, and I'll have a piss up.
Is he a Chinese national?
Yeah.
He won't get arrested.
Extradition.
Well, he'll get extradited because of the way that this is heading. This is going to head to Interpol.
I don't know, but
China
Chinese
doesn't have an extradition treaty, do they? So they don't have to give him up. It'll just be a choice.
But it does.
Like Russia, they won't extradite one of their own.
It does them no good to not do it.
Yeah, but
it's not like it's benefiting
China ain't exactly the most.
Let's say.
Business-wise, it won't do China any good. If anything, what the FA should do then is say, right, the Wolves owners, who are Chinese owners,
China doesn't have the best of morals. Let's say.
Let's say what's happening in China at the moment as well, just for context, because there might be people who don't know. Obviously, they're having a massive human rights scandal at the moment
in Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong, where UK, and I'm not sure on the figure, I want to say it was about 2 million.
3 million. It was 3 million.
And the UK have offered passports or nationality to those people right now in Hong Kong who are being oppressed. Obviously, no one in China can listen to this because they don't have access to YouTube, so fuck you, China. Let's go ahead and say that right now. But this has led to what has happened in 2020. I don't know when it's going to end. Is this going to end in war? Not the Wigan thing. Obviously, the Wigan thing's not going to go that far, but
might do.
No, it won't.
Well, if I get my hands on it.
Should do.
That's a joke. That's a joke. I'm a non-threatening person. But, it just seems to be a case of 2020. anything's going to happen this year. Anything could happen.
Yeah, it's got that vibe, but I know it's specific to any year that anything can happen. You don't know what's around the corner, sort of thing. But 2020 has just taken that ethos and just ran with it.
2020.
I mean, flying pigs could be real, and I'd start to believe it with the way this year's gone so far.
Yeah.
2020, for a good majority of people, I mean, certainly myself, and I know everyone in this chat will probably agree, 2020 has been the worst year ever.
No, it's not for me.
No?
No, Liverpool won the league.
Well, okay.
That is
Taking
true.
away
Well,
that.
for every other football fan, it has been the worst year ever.
Yeah, and Liverpool winning the league has only added to that.
And 2019 wouldn't have been a shit year for you either.
Leeds are gonna go up.
Wow, thanks for that.
Leeds are gonna go up. What an awful year for football. And we're gonna obviously again, it's just joking about really, but you know, Wigan could go under.
Yeah.
The repercussions of Bury are still being felt. That's in the football world. You've got the George Floyd murder in America. You've got the COVID-19 pandemic, which also has dominated the majority of the year.
You have the Australian wildfires.
Australian wildfires. I saw a video, and I know quite a few people have seen this. It was on, I don't think it was BuzzFeed or something like that. It might be College Humor, something similar. And it was someone from April 2020 trying to explain to themselves 4 months earlier what 2020 was going to be like. And how could you explain to someone in January of 2020 that the Australian wildfires are going to be an afterthought for a lot of people this year? Like, how can you say to someone from the past that them Australian wildfires, you're not going to think about them past January?
I mean, wasn't like World War III going to start at the beginning of this year?
World War III could still happen this year.
Yeah, I mean, India and China have sort of been...
They've been each other next.
Yeah.
North Korea and South Korea each other next. What Donald Trump is doing in America is baffling. We are in a universe, or we are in a timeline where the President of the United States can retweet a video of one of their fans saying white power and think that is perfectly okay to do.
He's still going to get elected this year.
That could, I know this is very that could see the end of the world as we know it, because
He's still going to get elected this year. I really think he is, because I don't think Biden...
I don't think he does. I am confident he's not going to get elected.
Yeah, especially now, it's like...
Yeah. But this being said, I know Ryan had to cut this part out on the podcast a while back because we said it was insensitive, but I'll raise it now while we're into quite a deep discussion here. I made a point, probably, I want to say April time, maybe April, maybe beginning of May. I'm not 100% sure on the timing of it. And I made a point that with the COVID-19 pandemic, this year couldn't get any worse. And then George Floyd got murdered.
I think it was like literally a week after we recorded the podcast or something like that.
Yeah, it was like, you try explaining to me, as soon as I said that, you could say, you try tell me that this year was going to get that much worse. You try to explain that to someone who thinks that the world's going to end with coronavirus.
It's just unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's not a believable thing.
This year has been one catastrophe after another, and World War III.
Have you heard that thingy could be potentially going to erupt? Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I know.
Of course
I wouldn't be surprised.
Apparently, that's it's 10,000 years overdue to
Overdue,
erupt
yeah,
or
it's
something like
overdue.
that.
Like, would it surprise me at this point? No.
Absolutely not. No.
I
If
don't.
that happened, we'd all be fucked because China and Russia just go on an absolute piss up now.
They won't go to piss up. They're just probably try and assert the power on the world, and they wouldn't have people to stop anyone really to stop them. Oh my god! Did we win that 1-0? Did we win that 1-0?
Yeah, it didn't go in.
I think we won 2-1. 2-1.
2-1, yeah. That didn't go in.
So I mean, yeah, I'm absolutely taken aback by what this year's offered. At this point, anything is on the cards, anything at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is a natural point to end this.
Yeah, me
by
too.
saying,
Yeah.
please,
So-
if you're watching this,
Save it for next time.
yeah, stay safe. Please stay safe. Please keep watching, and we have some new merch out on our Teespring store.
Yes, we do.
Link is in description.
Yeah, go and check that out. I think Josh mainly has done some wonderful work. Josh, anyone else want to shout out for that help?
No, I did it all myself.
Josh did it all himself. Okay.
Sorry.
But Josh has done some wonderful work to get some new merch designs. So go and support the club, and if you can as well. I know this is obviously now we're starting to get to the point where I'm getting preachy, but if you have the chance or you've got the funds to do it, go and support one of the many fundraising things that are out there for Wigan at the moment. I'll make sure some links get posted in the description for that, and go and sign the petitions to try and get the EFL to reconsider their decisions to deduct the 12 points. It helps a whole lot more than you know, and anyone from Wigan should, if they can, get in contact with their MP. If you're in Wigan, it's Lisa Nandy, or if you're in Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham, get in contact with them, write a letter to them, write a letter to the EFL, and let's try and have a better week next time. Let's try and have a better week. So signing off, I've been Chris.
I've been Josh.
It's been Ryan.
It's been Jack.
Thank you very much for joining us in this incredibly morbid podcast, and see you soon.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.